The video game genre of zombies is oversaturated. However, that doesn't mean that there isn't room for more zombie-themed games. I mean, let me tell you that I am a sucker for almost anything zombie-related. Almost every zombie game I've played has gotten the zombie part good, but not perfect. That's until I played Project Zomboid. In Project Zomboid, you are thrown right into the heart of the Nox infection, and you create your own story in the zombie apocalypse. Your character is balanced with perks picked by yourself with a healthy balance between negative and positive perks. For every positive perk you add, you remove a free perk slot until you run into the negative. The only way to balance that out is by adding the negative. Your perks really affect how your character reacts to zombies. You are going to be between being a zombie-killing masochist or someone who tends to avoid the zombies altogether. The zombies themselves are really catered to however you want them to be, from the medium-paced fast shamblers to the super-speed, highly aware sprinters. You create your own fantasized zombie apocalypse. At the base settings though, the zombies tend to just walk towards you, so that doesn't sound that challenging, right? Well, if your character isn't used to a whole lot of physical strain, then you will get exhausted pretty quickly, and that can be a death sentence. When you are exhausted, zombies become even more of a threat, taking more swings and wasting even more energy to kill. At a certain point, if you are too exhausted, you will be strained so much that a single zombie could be the end of that run. Zombies themselves have a very basic memory, and if you are being followed by an extreme amount, leading them to nearby woods or a house can lose them pretty quickly. It's not ever recommended that you fight a group of more than 4, especially as a new player, because they can quickly overpower you. The best tactic for running into a huge group of them is to not run into a huge group of them. Every zombie encounter that you experience, you should plan for. You also may be thinking, there's no way this game can be scary, right? A huge part of zombie games is the feeling of fear, and let me tell you, for a game that is displayed from an isometric point of view, you can get jump scared a lot. Project Zomboid has a certain sound effect that will play when you least expect it, and most of the time it will get you. This sound, most of the time, will freak the average new player out, and when it plays, it usually means the zombie has found you. Even for the most experienced player, you can still be jump scared through other means, like when you are attacked by a zombie. In other games, when a zombie attacks you, most of the time, you are able to heal yourself, and the attack really just dumbs down to an attack. Not in Project Zomboid. In Project Zomboid, there are 3 severity of attacks when a zombie gets a hold of you. You can be either scratched, lacerated, or bitten. Each one of these attacks has a certain percent chance of eventually infecting and killing your character. A scratch has a 7% chance of infection, a laceration is 25%, and a bite is a guaranteed run killer. But even after you are attacked, you can fight zombies still, right? Well, yes and no. Scratches and lacerations affect the speed at which you can perform certain activities. If you are lacerated on your hand, for instance, you're going to swing your weapon ridiculously slow. And if you are attacked on your leg or foot, you will move around more slowly. You also don't instantly heal from wounds. Wounds can get a normal infection, which happens when you don't clean them and bandage them properly. The wounds can even affect the mentality that your character has, by causing them to have a pain moodle. You have to actually treat wounds like they are serious, not something that you can just press H to heal from. Project Zomboid is like if you were playing Zombie Apocalypse Simulator, Kentucky Edition. Everything is almost simulated. Everything besides having to use the restroom. Zombies in Project Zomboid have 2 main forms of pathfinding. Active pathfinding, where they have detected you from some sort of sound or visual cue and will actively move towards and seek you out. And passive pathfinding, where they will go to the last place where they saw or heard you. They are easily distracted and lured by louder sounds such as gunshots, car horns, car engines, and even your character yelling. The best way I can compare Project Zomboid zombies to anything is, in particular, The Walking Dead, at least before the zombies were able to climb. Stealth can be a real run saver in Project Zomboid, though even walking behind zombies can still alert them to your presence. It all goes back to how your character is tailored. Are they tailored to be a huge zombie killer, or are they more of a run and fight kind of character? In most other zombie games, there are human NPCs and other people in the surrounding world. However, in Project Zomboid, you are truly alone. Well, at least until Build 43 comes out, sprinkling persistent survivor stories that continue even when you aren't there. For now, it's just you and the zombies. You are the only one left to survive up until you die. And you will die, by the way. The loading screen literally says, this is how you died. You can go on for a very long time, but in the end, you die and start over with a new story, a new character, and new perks. And that's how Project Zomboid got zombies right. In other zombie games such as Dying Light, or The Last of Us, your character kind of lives for a certain point. It's not anywhere, everything open world. It's more of a linear set story. But in Project Zomboid, you create the story you want Are you living in an I Am Legend world where the zombies can sprint, are smart, can open and smash open almost anything? Or are you living in more of a The Walking Dead Season 1 kind of instance where the zombies shamble up and group together and will eventually come and get you, but you can probably fight a good amount of them before dying? It is all up to you. Everything about it feels like if it was quote unquote actually simulated. If zombies were a real figmentation, a real, I feel like Project Zomboid is literally a zombie apocalypse simulator. A how long can you survive the zombie apocalypse? There are a lot of games where zombies are a second to the main storyline and are nothing more than a secondary antagonist. Not in Project Zomboid. They are the main antagonists only, wanting to kill your character in any way that they can. It is your own customized story, and the zombies are here to end it. My favorite thing to do in Project Zomboid is to live a nomadic lifestyle, moving from temporary base to base, because eventually the zombies will come. What I mean is by around day 7 of your playthrough, you will hear something whirring in the sky, the sound of a helicopter. The helicopter event, as it's called, is kind of a proving ground if you can truly survive the Project Zomboid apocalypse. There are many theories on why it happens in the game, but just know this: it will lead a lot of zombies to your location. I'm not talking about just 10 or 20, it will lead at least 50 or more to your doorstep. The only way to escape it is to either bunker down and prepare to fight, or to get in your car and hit up the highways. The highways also, depending on your run's RNG, can either have little to no zombies, or can have some of the largest groups that you will ever see. A tip for new players is that whenever it hits, I would recommend getting in your car and going on a nice leisurely drive. I would not bunker down on your first helicopter event. However, I would recommend getting used to the combat system in Project Zomboid, because once you are familiar with it, you can survive almost any encounter that you experience. This is zombies done right. Zombies should be something you are ready to fight, and it should be a fight, depending on the character you are playing.